maybe this is her. Yeah.
Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You going to stay with us this time?
This go round, yeah, maybe for a little bit.
I mean, okay.
I keep
I don't
forgetting.
know how you interpreted that. Now, with that response, I'm not sure how you interpreted my question. I meant we lost you just a moment ago, and so.
You did. I had to switch devices.
You had to switch your vices?
I do have vices, but I had to switch my device.
Oh, okay.
But my client should be getting on.
He is.
Was having.
I'm about to admit him now.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Villarreal. Can you hear us? Whoops. You need to join with audio. See if that will help. Cannot hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Judge, I did give him all the information he needs to call in, I think. No, I did not. I sent him a picture of the email that Kayla sent me on January the 5th.
That's what I was doing.
I think that's reversed.
I got it.
We can see it.
Click on unmute button, bottom left corner.
He's on a phone like I am, so that ought to work.
There's
also a *6.
Yeah, he's not muted, Chris. He's somehow it's not connected to. He may need to click on the join with audio.
I can send that message too.
Here, I think that's the key. There we have it. Now, okay. You need to unmute yourself. It should be at the bottom left corner.
There we go.
You hit it twice. You hit it twice.
Oh.
There.
All right, I'm good now.
Well, I think that's what this whole case is going to try to decide. At least somebody caught my humor. All right, let's get started. I call cause number 10,850 for the case style, the state of Texas versus Marcus Joe Villarreal. Before calling for announcements, let me make an announcement. This hearing is being conducted by remote video teleconferencing technology using the Zoom protocol. That is, we are doing this virtual hearing in order to comply with the Supreme Court and Office of Court Administration orders, regulations, and directives. We are also live streaming this proceeding on the court's YouTube channel in order to allow the public to access the courts to observe official court proceedings. The official court reporter of this court has also joined us in this virtual hearing, and he will make an official record of this proceeding. Therefore, all other persons are expressly prohibited from making any recording of this proceeding or any portion of it, whether that recording is made telephonically or electronically or by any other means. With those comments, let me also note that this is a pretrial hearing in Mr. Villarreal's case 10,850. I'm sorry, 830. It's 10,830. For purposes of pretrial, what says the state?
Ready, Your Honor.
And defense?
Ready, Your Honor.
And the record will reflect that Mr. Villarreal is with us virtually as well. I would also state thank you. I would also state for the record that I am in the courtroom.
Oh, crap. Excuse me.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
He noted that you asked to be excused on the record. The record will reflect that Ms. Wolf is almost certainly referring to the sudden loss of Mr. Villarreal's virtual feed, and we need to wait for him to rejoin us. Mr. Oliver, when we conclude this morning's proceeding, if you will stay on, I will visit with you through this method about another matter.
I'm sorry, Judge, I was on a phone call. Go ahead.
When we are through with this pretrial, if you'll just stay on your Zoom.
Okay.
You and I will confer about another matter
Certainly.
through this method, but we'll only do so after we have closed everything.
Sure.
And now that I say that and look at my screen and such, we'll make sure that we're not broadcasting our conversation on the court's YouTube channel either, in case it were to be about another individual.
Chris, is it about the matter you called me about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll stay on as well then.
Okay.
That sounded like one of the OCA directives, guidances.
Yes, sir.
No. Her comment.
It pertains to scheduling, so that's why. Stay
I
on.
still understand. I understand fully. Do we have any way to communicate with Mr. Villarreal?
I sent him a text message, Judge.
Okay. I thought you had decided to do everything by signal instead of by voice.
Smoke signals,
Yes.
you know. Well, Judge, if he doesn't come back, he was here, and we were going to announce that we did not have any pretrial matters.
Let me just go ahead and let you know, Mr. Wolf, if we haven't already had this conversation. I don't think we have. While the most recent Supreme Court order and Office of Court Administration directives limit our ability to have in-person hearings, and thus we are proceeding virtually. Their newest orders and directives specifically, I start to say exempt. They don't say exempt. It specifically does not apply to jury trials. And so we are going to proceed with jury trials because we have satisfied all of the other obligations in order to, or orders and directives in order to hold a jury trial or conduct a jury trial. And so we're going to proceed with jury trials. I'll also tell you that we will set a plea cutoff in Mr. Villarreal's case for next Friday, the 15th, end of day, January 15th. But so as not to be hiding behind the log or even appearing to do so, and in as much transparency as possible, there are other cases in front of Mr. Villarreal who have asked for a jury trial, and I think who are planning to go to trial. And so that kicks in the sort of the second part of my plea cutoff policy, which is if your case is the case that's ready for trial, that is, it reaches the top of the docket and is the next one for trial, then the person has to plea, there he is, has to plea by the plea cutoff date or otherwise go to trial. If after the plea cutoff date, but it's not yet reached the number one status, they could still plea before it reaches number one status. And if it's never reached trial during this trial docket, then it just goes back in order on the next docket without the loss of the possibility of a plea. Okay, Mr. Villarreal, you back with us?
Okay.
You have to unmute yourself again.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
After that brief recess, we will continue with Mr. Villarreal's pretrial hearing. I was just, I believe I had just called for announcements, and we noted that state was ready, defense was ready. Mr. Villarreal was present with us in this conference, this virtual teleconferencing session. I was about to announce or starting to announce that I'm the only one present in the courtroom, except for my court reporter, who is also present, but socially distanced from me in the courtroom. State's counsel is present in the courthouse, but located in his office on a different floor. Ms. Wolf, are you in Taylor County
Yes, Judge.
at the moment? I mean, I know
Yes, Judge.
I know you cover a lot of areas. And then Mr. Villarreal, is it correct that you are, it's a sort of a negative way of putting it, but you are not in the courthouse. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't think there's any prohibition about you being in the courthouse. It just further establishes that we're not having an in-person hearing. Instead, we're having it by this remote video teleconferencing technology. All of that said, for purposes of pretrial, does the state have any pretrial matters to present at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Wolf, does the defense have any pretrial matters to present or ask action upon at this time?
Not at this time, Judge. No pretrial.
Mr. Villarreal, during the time that your video feed was interrupted, I was telling your attorney, and so let me tell you, we are still doing jury trials. We are still permitted, I should say, to have jury trials. And we have a jury trial scheduled for this month. January 26th will be the start of it. I will set a plea cutoff date of January 15, end of day, for the cases as they reach the number one status on the trial docket. You are not the number one status as we sit here today. There are other cases in front of your case. And so if you do not reach the if you do not reach the number one setting on the trial, then you have extended opportunities to enter a plea if you want to. That's not required, and I'm not trying to suggest that you should. I'm just letting you know that that's a possibility. If your case becomes the number one case by trial date and you have not disposed of your case by the plea cutoff time, then your case would go to trial. To try to be as transparent as possible, I do not think your case will reach trial status this month. But if you want a trial, we will always work, a jury trial, we will always work to give you that opportunity. But in all likelihood, you will not be scheduled to be the one going to trial this month, but you have to be aware of that possibility. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And of course, always you consult with your attorney about all of these matters. All right. Is there anything else that we need to take up or consider while we are all in this virtual courtroom? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you all. Then we will be in recess. I will conclude this session for each of you, or you can do it on your own. We're in recess. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good morning. Just a second, Jeremy, I don't think it'll take but a moment. Yes, Chris. Oh, let me,
YouTube.
Taylor, have you concluded our YouTube feed?
No, sir, I don't believe I have that ability.
Well, I have closed my YouTube. Let's see if there's anything I